Hello everyone, welcome back to Piofiore Faded Memories! The line I left off on, that alone brought a surprising serenity to my soul. I don't know what we're talking about here. I think we had some meanwhiles right before this maybe. I can't really remember, but what I do remember is that I was right about this bishop and he very conveniently had a prophecy again. Ooh. Well, I guess had a prophecy isn't the right way to phrase that. He had a vision. Okay, very convenient. And it says that I have to die. I don't know how he's planning to do that, but yeah, I mean, shocker, am I right? But I'm hoping this is what's finally gonna get Orlok to snap out of it with this brainwashing business with the bishop, and he will take my side and we will run off into the sunset. One of the main issues though is that like there's literally no one we can trust but each other. Like every other character in this is against us. We have no allies. So that's fun. Anyways, let's get back into this, shall we? Alright, something brought a surprising serenity to my soul. I think something about talking with Orlok again. Orlok, help. I don't want to be killed. Oh, and meanwhile, I stood in front of Lily's room. Meanwhile, aim. The bishop? We're gonna see his aim, as the title implies. I breathed a sigh of relief after seeing the disciple leave the room.
幸い、私とラオ州が通じているなどという誤解は疑問の際に解けた。
Yeah, okay, yeah, there it is.
ラオ州がたとえ何を言おうと、大衆は私の言葉を信じるだろう。
This whole spectacle had been a bother. I couldn't believe they would violate our deal and disclose our connection. Yeah, your deal. I mean, it's like, it was so obvious, all of this that he's saying right now, that this was the case from the beginning, but it's just validating to hear it be said, you know? After no one else saying it, people are just like willingly believing him. I feel validated.
所詮は異教徒。信じるべきではなかった。
But the Laoshu could still be used. I suppose I could let them be for now. Oh no. What are you gonna use the Laoshu for? I may be losing a key, but it won't be a major obstacle in my plans. What is your plan, anyway? All is well, as long as I ultimately gain control over this land. Well, there we go. Thank you for answering my question, I guess.
私の地位も名声も、奴らに、いや、誰からも脅かされることがあってはならない。
Dude, you brought it on yourself. It's not anyone else's fault. I mean, the Laoshu, yeah, they cause a lot of problems, but like, if there's harm to your name or position, that's on you, buddy.
あの娘には、私のために死んでもらわねば。
No, I didn't agree to that, sir. Also, yeah, you basically just admitted you didn't get any kind of prophecy. I stood in front of Lily's room. I'm sorry, Orlok, you talk so slowly. I don't do it on purpose. Like, there'll be a long space, and I'm like, he's done talking, and then I hit the button right as he's like, I'm sorry. It had been throbbing since I spoke, now I can't talk, with His Excellency's words. It felt like I had just been bludgeoned. Ow. That's brutal. This had never happened to me before, feeling so sick during a mission.
彼女が死んで、みんながマフィアに反発する。そうすれば、この町は平和になる。
Kind of silly, right? So like everyone fighting to bring peace.
この地で平和のために死ねと神は仰せになっているのかもしれん。無垢な乙女が一人犠牲になれば人々の心は動くだろう。この町の状況を変えねばならんと思うはずだ。
So you weren't happy about Yang saying it, so you shouldn't be happy about Mr. Bishop saying it. I recalled again what Yang said. His Excellency's words were the same.
彼女には何の罪もない。
That's part of what's so frustrating about this route is that it's true. Lily has done literally nothing. Like, I'm just existing, and everyone's like, she needs to pay for what she's done. Okay, she's out here saying that she's a saint when I'm not. And now I'm being told I have to die for this nasty bishop. I'm just existing. I am literally just existing.
そんな彼女を犠牲に。本当に神がそんなことを望んでる。
No. Listen, that doesn't sound right at all. And maybe, I'm not one to really give opinions on what God wants because he also wants Wii Tennis with Dante, but at least that one's valid. Look, this just doesn't sound right. Murder is well, I'm assuming it have to be murder, because how else am I gonna die? Anyway, that goes against the 10 Commandments, right? Wii Tennis is not in the 10 Commandments. I'm pretty sure. Listen, I haven't gone to Sunday school since I was like, I don't even know, something like the 3rd grade. The pain in my head was getting worse. I looked down at the palm of my hand.
俺がどう生きるべきか示してくれたのはいつも経過だ
I
っ
will
た
show you the way, Orlok.
だから経過を疑うということはこれまでの俺のすべてを否定すること
Yeah. I mean, listen, I can't disagree. The dude was literally raising you to be an assassin. When did I fall asleep? The sun had set already. I guess it's about time for Orlok to be arriving with my meal. I wanted to talk to Orlok, but I still wasn't sure what to say. But saying anything would be better than keeping quiet like this. I was slowly stirring myself awake when... The door opened without a knock. Are you here to kill me? I saw a figure come through the doorway. Orlok? Orlok always knocked on the door. Seeing him enter like this was confusing me. He had a grave expression on his face.
リリー答えてほしい
What? What's the matter? Something isn't right. I could feel a strange tension when Orlok spoke.
答えてお願いだから
Yes? Of course. I didn't know what was happening, but he seemed eased by my reply.
あなたは自分が犠牲になれば他の誰かが助かるそんな時どうする誰かのために犠牲になれる
What an odd question. Okay, let's see here. I'd say I'm afraid of dying. Don't kill me, please. I had no idea why Orlok was asking me such a question, but if my answer will help, then I'm afraid of dying. I wouldn't be able to decide right away, even if it was to save someone. He looked at me intently. See, now that doesn't sound like the person that should be sacrificed, right? Like, if it was like some holy prophecy thing, I should be like, yes, this is my duty. I'm sorry. I know that what I said isn't what a true saint would say. But I'm just a normal person.
あなたは人間
I sure am. Yes, I am. I also think that I can do more for everyone if I were alive.
生きていたらできること
No matter how small, each good thing we do can greatly help someone in need.
生きて誰かのために役に立ちたい
Yes, all I would hope for in return is a smile. If I died to save people, well then I've got like no choice over what happens, I'm dead. I can't determine like where it goes from there.
そうだ笑ってもらえると嬉しい
He mumbled as if in some kind of trance. Being alive means that I can meet those who are in need. In the same way that you've been there for people who need you, Orlok.
俺を必要とする
I need you.
人に
Wait, yes. Do you remember how happy the children were when you played with them? I chuckled, remembering Orlok smiling and playing with the children of the church.
そうか
He was deep in thought. After a moment, Orlok looked at me again and sighed. Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, that scared the crap out of me. My heart. Oh. My god, I wasn't expecting you to zoom at me. Ooh, breathe. Don't ever do that again. Orlok jump scare. Orlok brandished his dagger, pointing it at my neck. Why is he... But Orlok wasn't moving. It looked like he was confused. Good. Be even more confused. Break away from the brainwashing. The tip of his dagger was shaking, and too far away to cut me. He asked me another question.
もう一つ聞かせてほしい。平和は何よりも尊いものだと思う？
What was Orlok trying to get at? I responded. Yeah, I had a feeling that was gonna be a choice. No. The answer is no. Yes, peace is precious and something that we should be working toward. But I think there's something more precious than peace.
それは
Happiness. Peace without happiness isn't true peace. Right, you're gonna bring about peace by, like, killing me. And then having a fight with the Mafia, which is probably gonna result in more death. Orlok looked surprised. I tried my best to speak as honestly as possible. If the only way of obtaining peace was forcing suffering onto others, then the peace obtained through their sacrifices wouldn't be peaceful at all.
犠牲で成り立つ。
I know it's not easy finding a way for everyone to be happy, but I don't think we should give up. I saw tears starting to well up in Orlok's eyes. The tip of his dagger was still shaking, but no longer pointed at my neck.
できない。
Thank God. Oh, yay! 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 You made me happy. The dagger dropped to the floor.
ごめん。俺はあなたを。
It's okay. I mean, it was scary, but I'm fine, Orlok. Oh, it was scary, all right. My heart jumped out of my throat. I'm sure you had a good reason. I trusted in him. There was no way he would do something like that without a reason.
俺はこれまで使徒として人を殺めてきた。
See, that right there, red flag number 1. If you're involved with the church, you probably shouldn't be killing people. Orlok slowly began speaking in a sullen voice that I'd never heard before.
そして今日はあなたを殺そうとした。でもリリーだけは殺したくない。
Thank God. Orlok,
俺はあなたを守りたいのに。
this is your moment, Orlok. Snap out of it. His words felt like his heart was screaming for help. What happened? Why were you trying to kill me? I forced myself to ask him for a reason. Orlok didn't say anything for a moment, but then he slowly uncovered the truth.
経過があなたは死ぬべきだって
I told you.
そう言った。
I told you His Excellency is full of it.
それこそが信託の本当の意味だって。
And the prophecy is also a bunch of crap.
あなたの犠牲で町の人たちは目を覚ます。
Would they, though?
マフィアに反発して自立するようになる。それが神の意志だって。
It's the will of Him, not the will of God. It can't be.
俺は今まで経過が絶対に正しい。そう信じてきた。経過の言葉に従って務めを果たすことは神の望みを果たすことだって。それが人々のためにこの世界のためになるって信じてた。
Orlok looked down at his open hands.
でも俺にはどうしてもあなたが死ぬべきだって。
I cut you off again. Listen. You're not heeding my advice in talking faster. Orlok must be having the same doubts I had about Bishop Roseberg. Thank God, finally, we made it here. But doubting Bishop Roseberg meant that he was rejecting the life he had lived until now. Orlok probably doesn't know who to believe anymore. Me. I'm the only one. Like I said, we don't have any allies. I can only imagine his suffering. But I wasn't able to give Orlok the answers he was looking for. Doing so would only make me do the same that Bishop Roseberg has done to him. Orlok, let me share my thoughts with you. It's wrong to take another person's life. It's something that can't be forgiven. But if the deed is done, one needs to atone for their sins.
人としての行いは俺の罪。
Here's the thing with you, Orlok, though, is like, you're not, I guess, the ringleader. You were manipulated as a literal child. And again, basically brainwashed into this for your whole life. So it's like you literally... It's unfair. Like, you didn't even have a chance. Like, yeah, murder's bad. But again, like, you grew up and were told from the time you were a kid, like, this is right. This is what you gotta do, you know? Very slippery slope, but yeah, I don't know. You could probably... Listen, I don't know anything about anything, but if I were God, I'd give you a chance to atone because, like, you had no say in it. You had no choice but to do it. It's literally what you were taught to believe.
必死に戦って何度も人を殺してきたのに俺は間違ってた。
Again, you're like, was I wrong all this time? But it's like, again, this is what you were told since you were a child. Like, of course you're gonna believe that. This is the life you grew up in.
俺が生きている意味はなかった。
There's meaning for you to live, just not with murder. Orlok, what you've done may have been wrong, and repentance won't bring them back from the dead. But there's a meaning for you to be alive. There's always a meaning to be alive. I appreciate what you've done for me, Orlok. I'm still alive because of you. That much I know is certain. Orlok looked at me with a blank stare. Your feelings are genuine and pure. You may have been in the wrong, but you didn't think you were in the wrong. And now you're like, oh my god, I was in the wrong. But you've sacrificed yourself in the name of God, haven't you? And yeah, that too. It's like, you literally thought, like, this is how it's supposed to be. It's like a cult. You're basically in a cult, you know? And now you're having that moment where you're like, oh my god, everything is a lie. I took Orlok's hand and held it tightly, but it's also different for you because it's not like you were an adult and then you joined a cult and got brainwashed. It's like you were a child and brought into the cult and were like, this is how life is. It's painful seeing you suffering like this. I'm not in pain just because you saved my life. I'm in pain because... Oh, because I love you. Oh, I did not think we were going to be here. I'm genuinely shocked. Like, normally I'm pretty in tune with how Lily is feeling. I didn't think she was here yet. I really didn't. But apparently she is.
Lily.
I had learned so much about Orlok from up close. I knew who he was. I couldn't just leave him alone. He was more than a regular person to me. He was someone with a pure heart who did his best to protect me with all his might. Soon after, I realized who he was. I then wanted to protect him in return.
俺何を信じればいいのかわからない。
Maybe I was just too... Sorry. Maybe I was just too caught up in my anger and depression in this route to realize how you're feeling, Lily. His eyes weren't sullen anymore. They were alive with a powerful light.
あなたのことは信じられる。たとえあなたが聖なる存在ではないとしても、あなたのことなら俺は心から信じられる。
Hallelujah. Orlok squeezed my hands in his.
ここにいるわけにはいかない。
I can't help but notice that, you know, I said I love you, and you don't have to respond right now. It's just a little awkward that you kind of just ignored that.
俺があなたを殺さないなら、きっとゲイカは他の人間に命令する。
Well, we're on the run again.
だから この町を出るしかない。
Huh? I mean, just to be fair though, because, like, what else do we do? Because everyone is after us. It's literally like this, or it's like, okay, we gotta kill the bishop, we've gotta kill Yang, Dante, and Gilbert. That's the only way we're safe.
ゲイカだけじゃない。ブルローネには
Yeah.
敵が多すぎる。ここを離れるのが一番安全。
Otherwise, we got 4 people to kill. Do we need to leave now?
今すぐ。じゃないときっと手遅れになる。
Can I say farewell to everyone? To Sister Sophia? Oh, how could I forget Sister Sophia? She's my ally. So is Elena. I hesitantly asked if I could say farewell. He shook his head sadly. That's too dangerous.
ごめん。できない。教会はきっとどの組織も監視してるから。俺はあなたを守りたい。だから危険と分かっていてそこに行くことは。
It pained me to hear that I couldn't say goodbye to everyone at the church, but Orlok is trying to save me. He turned his back on the person he most trusted just for me. I need to make a decision now. Okay, let's escape together. Orlok's expression softened, hearing my answer. He then held my hand firmly. Let's go, we're on the run. We quickly made our way out of the room. Was there any place we could run to? I was certain the Mafia had soldiers looking for us out in the streets. Bishop Roseberg wouldn't let us get away so easily either. A pang of anxiety filled my heart. Even so, that was what we chose. A path that Orlok and I have chosen. Yeah, you chose it yourself. You know, no one else has their grimy little fingers in this decision. We headed to a secluded alley to try and escape from the town. Orlok went ahead to see how things were. He returned with some bad news.
ここはダメだ。
Oh no, why? What did you see?
どこの組織かわからないけど、すでに道が塞がれてる。
Oh dear. Orlok pointed in the direction we were headed. There was only one street leading out of Berlone. Only one?
森の中を突っ切ることは俺一人ならできなくない。だけど、
Yeah, there's wolves in there. Yang took down like 12. Can you do that?
この森には狼が出る。だから、あなたを連れて行くのは難しい。
I take it you can't take down 12? I'd heard news of tourists finding their way into the forest, only to be killed by wolves.
それに、森を通るなら、今夜中にブルローネを出るのは難しくなる。
What do we do? Is there any other way out?
別の道。港もおそらくマフィアが抑えてると思う。
Let's invent the airplane, if it hasn't been invented yet.
俺が甘かった。今この街を出るのは思ってた以上に難しい。
How about we head back to the hideout?
いや、ゲイカはあの場所を知ってる。
We need a new hideout.
よくない。
We were out of options. After thinking a while, Orlok made a reluctant suggestion.
ストラノに行こう。あそこなら身を隠しやすい。
Strano?
しばらくそこに身を隠して時期を見てブルローネを出る。ストラノは大きさの割に人口が多い。うまく紛れ込めば追っ手の目をごまかせるかも。
Orlok, we really need to get you that disguise I was talking about. And maybe me one, too.
治安は良くないかもしれないけど大丈夫。俺が守るから。
Orlok assured me that it would be okay. I'm not worried, Orlok. I know you'll protect me. Orlok quickly looked away, seeing me smile. While I wondered to myself about Orlok, we began to head toward Strano. Once there, we managed to find an abandoned home to take shelter for now. We cleaned the place up, dusting the rooms and gathering together what we needed. It wasn't in the best condition, but I was sure life here would be much better for Orlok. To be fair, the place we were staying before the hideout also wasn't in the best condition. Oh. I can't tell if this is better than the hideout or worse. That wall over there is pretty janky. I'm sure I had some salted cod left over. We even have potatoes. I lit the fire under the pot as I thought of what I could make with our ingredients. Strana was very expensive when it came to food. I needed to use every ounce carefully. Making meals with the little resources we had made it a challenge to prepare daily meals. The oven you fixed is working fine now. Thank you, Orlok.
よかった。他に欲しい道具とかある？
No, we have all the cooking utensils and tableware we need. So like these potatoes and cod, are they left over from when he went shopping forever ago? Like, did we take that with us to the hotel and then to here? Like, I was just lugging some potatoes around?
水は？
I mean, it's a good thing I
必要なら
did,
汲んでく
if
る。
that's the case. After dinner should be fine. Oh. I looked into the water jug. It was practically empty.
先に汲んでくる。
Warlock, wait. I'll go with you. We can carry more water back so that we don't run out so quickly.
わかった。
We stepped outside our ramshackle home. Ramshackle? Oh my god! You're only gonna understand my excitement if you watch my Twisted Wonderland Let's Play.
あれ
Hey, it's that kid!
あんたなんでここに
I was wondering when you were gonna become a part of the story. You show up in the prologue and then, or common route, and then never do again. Oh my. A familiar young boy called to me from behind. It was the young boy I met back when I went to do the provisioning.
やっぱり姉ちゃん教会の人じゃねえの？なんでこんなところに？
Boy, it's a long story. Well, I glanced at Orlok. He looked sharply at the young boy. I hurriedly tugged Orlok a few steps back and whispered into his ear. No, Orlok, don't kill the kid. It's
あな
bad.
たの素性を知ってる人間を返せば、あなたの所在を知られる可能性が上がる。
We're not killing him. Even so, please don't. He's a kid. Orlok didn't say anything more. I turned around and headed back to the boy. I'm actually hiding myself. It'd be great if you didn't tell anyone you saw me here.
ふーんどうしよっかな。
I'll give you a potato if you keep quiet. No, Orlok. I'm striking up a deal here. Okay, 2 potatoes for your silence. I said no, Orlok. I quickly pushed Orlok back again, seeing him put his hand into his coat. Listen, kid, you better accept my deal or this guy's gonna kill you.
なんちゃって
Hallelujah.
いいぜ。秘密にしてやっても。別に興味ねえしな。どうせ駆け落ちでもしたんだろ。シスターのくせに。
Oh, so that's what you think is happening here. Well, sure, that's right. I'm not a sister, but I suppose I should play along. It's better than explaining the truth to him.
駆け落ち。駆け落ち。
For some reason, Orlok kept mumbling the word he just heard. You good? Do you want to do that? So, what are you doing here? Were you going someplace?
ああ、別に腹減ったから何かねえかなと思って歩いてただけ。
You want a potato?
つっても今日は稼げてねえし、食べ残しでも落ちてねえかなってさ。
I see. I'm going to prepare dinner shortly myself. Would you like to join us?
いいのかよ。
I've got potatoes. I've been telling you this. And I'm willing to give them out. Yes, consider it a friendly gesture. I recall being worried about him, seeing how thin and frail he was. We weren't necessarily well fed ourselves, but I could share my food with him. I wanted to offer him a meal, not because he found us, but because I wanted to help. Ah, I suddenly turned around and looked at Orlok. He was frowning, as expected, but his frown disappeared as he saw me look at him. I'm sorry, Orlok. I just couldn't...
謝らなくていい。そういうところ、あなたらしいと思うから。
I understand being a busybody is a nuisance, especially with how things are now. Which is why I felt relieved knowing that Orlok took my decision favorably. After fetching some water, we returned to our home. Let's adopt this kid. Why not? For fun. You seem to like the idea of eloping. We'll elope and adopt the kid and leave Berlone. And then we won't have to kill 4 people. Sounds good. I prepared a meal for Orlok and our sudden guest of honor.
すげえこれ教会の炊き出しよりうまいんじゃねえの
You look like a mini Gilbert. Like, my guess was always that you were going to be important on Gilbert's route just because you look similar to him, like the hair color. Maybe you still will be. I mean, I don't know your name. He was happy sacrificing. I can't read. He was happily scarfing down the food I made. He was not sacrificing the food that I made. I don't know how he would do that. I'm happy you like it. It's nothing fancy though.
これなら毎日だって食べてえよ
Ah. Well then, let's just say that the meal here is payment to keep you quiet. Like I said, I'm paying you your silence with potatoes.
口止め料
You don't say a word that we're here. In turn, you come here when you're hungry. Is that a deal?
乗ったそいつはいいや
How about it, Orlok?
いいと思う。あなたが決めたことだから。それに
Orlok took the bread on the table and handed it to me.
食材だったら俺が2人分でも3人分でも手に入れてくるから。だからあなたもちゃんと
We're gonna adopt you. I was surprised he noticed that I was splitting my share with the boy. Thank you, Orlok. I smiled and took the bread from his hand, after hearing his confident words. The boy gave us his name, Luca. Okay, we finally got your name. After all this time, Luca visited us at our makeshift home randomly and constantly. He came by in the morning and at night. He visited us practically every day. At first, Orlok kept his distance from him, but soon enough, they began talking to each other. Time passed. It was 3 days since Luca had last visited. Welcome, Luca. Orlok was getting worried not seeing you here for a while. Finally, I know who you are.
なんだよ心配してたのかお
そういうわけじゃない。
実はちょっと風邪ひいてさ
Huh? Are you alright?
もうすっかり治ったぜ
Orlok stepped in between us.
彼女に移ると困る。あまり近寄るな。
You're so protective. Orlok, also, you standing between us? Not gonna do much.
なんだよリリーじゃなくてあんたにだけ移してやる
Right, and then you'll give it to me. Luca playfully tried to grab Orlok, but Orlok quickly sidestepped his lunge. I watched them both running around at the place with a contented warmth in my heart.
最近どうも街が変な雰囲気でさ
Oh, yeah? It's got nothing to do with us. Luca began to talk during the meal.
ちょっと前に来た峡谷の人なんだっけロズなんと
Oh
か
god, what's he up to?
慰問だとかって話だけどずっといるよなこんなマフィアだらけの街に来るなんて偉い人なのに変わってるよ
He wants me dead, that's why. So Bishop Rosberg is still here in Berlone. Just thinking that he could still be looking for us gripped my heart in panic.
マフィアといえば最近はなんか妙におとなしいんだよな 普段はもっと小競り合いとかあるのにさ特にラオ州とかあいつら乱暴だから
Do the Laoshu fight often?
あ姉ちゃんたちは知らねえのかストラノはベレーノに近いからたまにラオ州のやつと揉めて殺されるやつがいるんだ
Love the Laoshu, they're just great people. What for?
大人たちは大っぴらには言わないけどラオ州から薬を買ってるだからラオ州に頭が上がらねえんだよ
Drugs. I didn't know the Laoshu sold them. Oh, I know about it very well.
最近はどう？ラオ州の動き。
動きだからおとなしいんだってびっくりするくらい何にも聞かねえんだよなだから逆に不気味なんだよな街全体が静かすぎるっていうかさ
俺は ストラノに知り合いはいないし、そういう情報を教えてもらえるのは。
この辺りのことなら何でも聞いてくれよ。
You're a cute little kid. Luca looked proud about what he knew, but when he spoke again, he sounded more serious.
俺は親がストラノの人間だから生まれた時からここで暮らしてるんだ。正直ストラノでの暮らしは厳しいよ。ここに暮らすやつは大人も子供もみんな自分のことでいっぱいいっぱいだ。余裕なんてありゃしねえよ。
Luca's words hit me hard. There were children his age back at church, but he chose to live here in Strano. I guess he had a reason to stay here. Luca didn't talk too much about himself, which is why we didn't ask much about him.
けどさ、あんたらはそういうここの大人たちとは違う感じがするんだ。
Luca gave an awkward smile. He must have seen the worried look on my face as I thought about how much he'd been through. Poor little Luca. Time passed. How much time? After dinner, we chatted a while. Oh, I was more referring to I thought you meant days had passed. How long have we been here? Luca looked sleepy. As I washed the dishes, I extended an invitation to him. Luca, why don't you rest for a bit?
大丈夫。すぐ行くから。
So I can't figure out, you're talking about people working day to day, do you have parents? You're coming here for all your meals. Luca walked slowly with staggering steps. I had a feeling he was about to drop. Orlok, can you keep him company? He's going to fall asleep outside at this rate.
わかった。
I finished cleaning the dishes and turned around. Luca was snoring on Orlok's lap. He's asleep? Orlok, we gotta adopt him. We have to do it. Orlok quietly nodded so that he wouldn't wake Luca. He's sleeping like a baby. Orlok was looking at Luca's sleeping face with an expression of kindness and care. Even if it was for a brief moment, we enjoyed a moment together in peace. It was so calm in here that I almost forgot we were being hunted. Well, that's not good. Now that we've forgotten about it, now we're going to be hunted. After that day, Luca went missing? What? What? No! I've known this kid for 5 minutes, and I can't describe the pain in my heart reading that sentence. No! Why did he go missing? What? Huh? It had been a week since we last saw him. What happened? With the chill in the air, I could feel that winter was right around the corner. The abandoned home where we were staying had a draft that let in the cold air. I picked a loose plank and leaned it against an opening to stop the cold air from coming in. We were gonna adopt him! Well, they didn't say that, but I did. I'm fully prepared to do it. I wonder if he caught another cold. I mumbled to myself absent-mindedly.
そうかもしれない。それか、他に行く場所を見つけたのかも。
Orlok replied to me, knowing who I was referring to. I'm just worried something more sinister happened. Perhaps he was thinking about him too. I suppose that may be it, but if he did find someplace else, he could have at least said goodbye to us. Yeah, I don't think that's it. I was sad enough if that were the case, but a part of me was thinking something else. Maybe he was really ill and suffering out there somewhere. Or maybe he got into a fight and was unable to move now. My imagination was running wild. Orlok. I went to go and look for Luca.
あまり出歩かない方がいい。
But I can't just stay like this. Aren't you worried about Luca? This might be our downfall. Going out and looking for our little son. He closed his eyes and thought. After a pause, he opened his eyes.
わかった。でも、
Of course, you're my
俺も一緒に行く。
protector. Thank you, Orlok. We set out to look for Luca. It was already late into the night. Strano wasn't very large, but it was dense, with buildings close together. Looking for a single child here proved to be much more difficult than I thought.
もうかなり遅い。
Where'd he
そろそろ
go?
戻ろう。
You're gonna make me sad. Where is this little guy? Just a little while longer. Orlok raised his brow, but he sighed and followed me from behind. I looked around the dark alleys in search of Luca. Suddenly, Orlok, over there. Did we find him? Is he sick? Is he hurt? I saw a small figure laying on the ground along an alley near Strano's border. Luca! I ran to him and held him in my arms. He has a fever.
俺が運ぶ。急ごう。
What happened? Are you really just like sick? Have you been here for a whole week? Please. What happened, buddy? I wiped Luca's sweat with a cold towel. I had him drink some water, but his fever wasn't dropping at all. He's still hot, and his pulse is weakening. Luca's heavy breathing grew shallower. Orlok quietly placed a damp towel on Luca's forehead.
こんなにルカが苦しんでるのに、どうして神は助けてくれないんだろう。
Well, maybe it is just a sickness. I don't know. My immediate instinct was that, like, someone kidnapped him for a week. Orlok clenched his fist and spoke words of pain and sorrow. Orlok. Luca was moaning. We quickly looked at his complexion. Luca, are you alright?
あれ、姉ちゃん。
Luca was looking at me as if he was in a daze.
俺、
You better not.
死ぬのかな。
I got attacked to you in like 5 minutes, and if this route makes me watch a child die yet? I don't know what I'll do. There's been too much suffering in this route. Do not make me watch this little boy die now.
死んだら神様のところに。
Luca, stop it. You'll be fine. Trust me. You'll feel better soon. We'll get a doctor to see you, and... Luca's weak hand took hold of my arm. His small hand was trying hard to hold me back. Luca?
俺は盗みとか悪いことたくさんしたから天国には行けないよな。
No! It's just like Orlok. Like, it's the circumstances you grew up in. You know? It's like you didn't have a choice. Otherwise, you would have died, you know? Luca's breathing seemed more pained. His face began to twist in fear. Oh no!
じゃあ地獄に落ちるの嫌だ。
I swear to God, game, don't you let this kid die.
怖いよ。
Do not. Luca's voice was terrified. His pulse was weakening by the minute. Do not. Do not. Okay? Don't. A child at the church died from a fever. I was with that child until the very end. His image overlapped Luca's. Don't. It was happening again. Don't. No, even if a doctor came, it would be too... Don't. Don't. I gently held the hand that was holding onto my arm.
大丈夫、ルカ。洗礼を受ければいい。そうすればちゃ
Oh
んと。
my god, this route. I know what a baptism is, a rite required to become a follower of the church. It is said to symbolize a new life granted as God's child, cleansed of sins.
神様のところに行けるから。
Oh my lord.
洗礼。
俺は教国の人間でちゃんと資格もある。洗礼を与えられるルカがちゃんと天国に行けるように。
Orlok extended his right hand, but then he suddenly stopped. What is it? He looked hesitant.
俺は 洗礼を与えられるのかな。
Or like, we got no time to debate that.
俺の血で汚れた手で、俺の洗礼じゃルカは天国に行けないかもしれない。
Warlock's right hand shook.
だって神はもう俺たちを
Warlock, we got no time to debate this.
見捨てたのかもしれないのに。
No, you didn't. Hearing Orlok, well, also, like, what are you saying? You turned your back on God? Because then we can debate. Because if it's recently, you definitely didn't. That was the right choice. We have to do what we can. Orlok, get a hold of yourself. We need to do whatever we can right now. You still have something you can do for Luca. So please.
そうだ。ルカのために。
Orlok slowly raised his hand over Luca's forehead.
ルカ、俺が洗礼を与えるから。
Luca didn't respond. His eyes simply twitched a bit. Orlok dipped his hand in the water and touched Luke. His name's Luca. Excuse you, he's dying and you got his name wrong. His name's not Luke, it's Luca. His forehead with a prayer.
大丈夫。ルカは天国に。
Luca let out a weak smile. Then, no. Luca slowly closed his eyes. What is wrong with this route? What sadist wrote this route? Okay? What? His face was sweet and gentle, just like when he was sleeping on Orlok's lap before. Luca? Oh my god. Okay, it turns out it really was sickness. I thought, like, he got kidnapped or something. Luca looked like he was really just asleep. Like he was having a wonderful dream. His hand was still warm in mine. Only now, he wasn't breathing anymore. What the F?
こんな。
That's what I'd like to know. Why would you do this to me, game? Orlok looked at Luca and muttered aloud, his voice
こ
strained.
んなことに意味はあった
What
の
the
かな。
heck? I held back my tears. Luca was able to fall asleep with such peace because you baptized him. You did well, Orlok. Orlok gasped for air as he stood up and stumbled out of the room. For a moment, I wondered what I should do. I stood up and chased after him. Orlok was looking at the night sky. Yeah. His wails resounded throughout the area.
助けたかった。助けてやりたかった。
Oh, Orlok. This route. What is I couldn't leave Orlok alone like this, out here in the open. I embraced him from behind. Tears rolled from my eyes down my cheeks.
俺は何もできなかった。神は何もしてくれなかった。どうして。
I held him as tightly as I could as the voice of his grief cut through the air.
神なんていないんじゃないか。
Dang.
俺たちは天に見捨てられて信仰なんて何の役にも立たない。
Orlok is going through it. This was the first time I had seen him express anger and frustration toward God. Back at the church, I witnessed countless births and countless deaths. I had seen my share of pain and sorrow through the people. When I was younger, I was also angry and upset. I tried to calm Orlok, choosing my words carefully. That's not true. God has not forsaken us. There is a God out there. I know it.
どうしてそんなことが言える？
What God decides doesn't always make sense to us. We can't see what he sees. God is helping us to live strong lives.
そんなの信じられない。ただの思い込みだ。
Not to break the mood, but you don't know what I saw on Dante's route. Okay, there was like a mortal little dude named Emilio and some magical water that cured Dante. I won't get into the other stuff, but like, in another life, I saw some shit. Yes, you may be right, but it's what I believe from the bottom of my heart. I believe that I've been able to survive until now because of God's blessings. I don't remember who my parents are, but I was able to live happily at the church. I met you, Orlok. You saved me. That's why I'm still alive, even with the Mafia after us. Don't you think this is a blessing?
それは
Maybe you could look at it in a way like Luca was gonna die no matter what, but in the end, he got to have like time with us beforehand. God gave us the opportunity to come together. Luca was able to meet you, Orlok. I don't think that was a coincidence.
俺
Yeah.
は何もできなかったのに。
No, you helped make Luca's departure a peaceful one. Tears filled my eyes again, just thinking about Luca's sweet and calm expression. Orlok, you saved Luca's soul. God has his own plan. Perhaps we can't count on being saved by faith alone. But you did save Luca, and I think that's significant. Orlok quietly listened to me, then took a deep breath. After a long silence,
ありがとう。リリー、俺にとっての救いはきっとリリーだ。この先何が起きたとしても
aw,
それは絶対。
instead of replying with words, I embraced Orlok even stronger. Under the star-dusted sky, we sought salvation from each other. Oh, new chapter, great. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and end today's video here. I don't even know what to say about that. You really just made me watch a sweet little boy die. That hurt. That hurt. Like, I know we knew him for like 10 minutes, but he was just like a sweet little dude. I don't know, he was just like a little kid trying his best in the circumstances he grew up in. Like, that was terrible. This route, whoever wrote it, like figuratively, like, kicked me in a ditch and then, like, threw sand on top of me and then dirt and then concrete and then removed it and kicked me some more. I literally, I don't know what to say. I'm literally speechless. That was... a lot of depressing stuff has happened in this route, but, like, that was rough. That was rough, okay? Like, I know, like, Lon and Faye, they died in Dante's route, but I don't know, that was different because they are just, like, also crazy little children who go around killing people. This was just, like, a totally innocent little boy. Listen, I got nothing else to say. I need to go mourn, I guess. So, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's video here. I hope you enjoyed the pain that we ended off on there. Okay, yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!